Hi everyone, thanks for coming in nice and early. Can everyone hear me okay? Cool. So my name's Heather, I work on the editorial team on SquareMeal Venues and Events, and I'm just going to quickly run through 20 of our favourite venues that have opened in the last 12 months, and then end with 8 ones that are about to open later this year or the beginning of next. I know everyone's really busy today, so I'm going to try and keep it relatively short, and you've all got booklets as well, which has a summary of most of the venues I'm about to talk about. So, to start with, I thought we'd start with a fun one. So Inception Group opened a second Bunga Bunga, this time in Covent Garden. So while exclusive use is an option for up to 400 guests, smaller groups can either take one of the private dining rooms, such as this 20-seat martini room, which is in the photo, or take a seat in the 8-capacity speedboat that they've got in the main space. So live shows and huge sharing cocktails in vessels shaped like the Leaning Tower of Pisa or the Horse's Head from The Godfather make this a really fun and a really good late night option for groups. We went along quite recently once it opened, and it was a lot of fun, so it's definitely a good one for after parties, team building, kind of low-key relaxed events. So next up, Bush House. So this is the former headquarters of the BBC World Service, and it's one of 4 buildings in the Aldwych Quarter, which was recently acquired by King's College London. So it opened earlier this month, and the building has been completely renovated, transforming it into an academic venue that offers a large lecture theatre, which is this one in the photo, which has retractable seating, and there are also plenty of other smaller meeting spaces as well. So it's already open now, this space, but obviously it's now heading into colder weather. But there's also a rooftop terrace that has its own private hospitality suite up on the 8th floor, which offers views of the London skyline. So it's not all kind of academic conference meetings. They can do drinks receptions and private dining too. Here we go. So yeah, Harvey Nichols. So the famous department store opened a blank canvas event space on its 5th floor this September. The dry hire venue can host sit-down dinners, seminars and drinks receptions. They can provide a DJ booth and decks, which makes it a really good spot for parties, whether that's the Christmas party or just a general after party, while fashion showcases and launches are obviously a natural fit. As you can see from the photo, there's a lot of natural light, which makes it a good shout for meetings as well. So next then, one of the biggest openings in Shoreditch for quite a while. So it is the Curtain Hotel, which is New York hotelier Michael Achenbaum's first London launch. So it comes with 120 bedrooms, a private members club, 2 restaurants, which includes Obama's favourite Red Rooster. There's co-working spaces, a wellness centre, and also a rooftop pool to rival that of Shoreditch houses over the road. So its event spaces, as you can see, kind of mix post-industrial brick walls with custom designed artwork. This is obviously a slightly different space, so it's got lots of pictures up on the wall and the exposed ceilings. And it's quite dark and atmospheric, which makes it quite good for showcases and also for product launches. De La Soul played on its opening night and demonstrated that it's also a good spot for parties too. So Curzon Cinemas chose the new Goodman's Field development in Aldgate as its location for its 6th London venue. Each of the cinema's 4 screens is available for hire, and 3 of them come with their own bars. Screens 1 and 2 work well for presentations, while private screenings of anything from Hollywood productions to art house foreign flicks can be hosted throughout the venue. The cinema also comes with a really nice reception and lobby area, which is filled with nooks and crannies covered in vintage film posters, so it makes a really good spot for drinks receptions, pre or post screening. So this one technically opened late last year, but I'm adding it to this year's roundup, A, because it's massive, and B, because it's actually got some very recent developments. So following the move to its new home in Kensington, the Design Museum now offers up to 3 times more space as its old Shad Thames site. Our pick of the event spaces is this striking triple height atrium, which can host 450 guests for drinks when combined with all the other floors. So its in-house restaurant Parabola is also great for meetings and private dinners. And the newest development is that former Le Café Anglais chef Rowley Lee took over the kitchen just yesterday, so we're expecting very good things on the catering front. So conferencing, specialist, etc. venues opened its 14th and biggest events hub yet this January. So it's located on the 4th floor of County Hall, and it's got 20 different rooms that can seat 400 delegates theatre style in its largest space, and also offers plenty of breakout space throughout. So a neighbour to the London Eye, the facility looks out over the Thames and onto the Houses of Parliament and Big Ben. So it's a real draw for drinks receptions and banquets with those views looking out. So it's not just for conferences. And we also hear from chatting to the MD that the venue's set to expand to 6,500 square metres by the end of this year. So they're already making developments. Just to point out, I probably should have said at the beginning, but some of the slides have got show numbers next to the venue names. That means that they're exhibiting at the show, and that's the stand number, so you can go and see them if anything takes your fancy. And that's also in the show booklet. It's got it written in there as well. So across the road from the Tower of London, the Four Seasons Hotel opened its doors in handsome style. Housing the former Port of London Authority headquarters, the venue boasts striking architecture and history. As well as 100 bedrooms and suites, the five-star property comprises a members club, 3 meeting rooms and 2 ballrooms. Our favourite spot on the team is this one here, which is the UN ballroom, which is, wood-panelled grand chandeliers, really making the most of the old style. So private dining is available in its Pan-Asian restaurant, Meume, and in La Dame de Pique, which is run by 3 Michelin-starred chef Anne Sophie Pique. And yeah, it's really good for banquets, conferences, meetings as well. So Venue Lab opened its newest site this summer. So what makes this party space unusual is its location on the River Thames at Greenwich Peninsula, which offers 360-degree views over the Thames. But it's not just a summer space. The greenhouse venue, which is described as a floating garden, allows groups to party in an alfresco-like setting while keeping warm under its transparent roof. So even though it looks outdoors, it actually isn't, so you can hire it in the winter too. And what we really love about this space is its community spirit. So volunteers, whether that's corporate groups or just locals, can pop in to tend to the plants or grow their own fruit and vegetables throughout the venue as well. So that's nice too. So the new home of West Ham United, London Stadium can host events for between 6 and 1,000 guests across 9 different function rooms and 16 boxes. The former Olympic Stadium has hospitality at its core, but the team has also developed a range of stadium tours specifically for the meetings and event market. Conferences and banqueting is also a speciality. For example, this year's Christmas party season, the venue is hosting nightclub-themed do's, with judges taking to the decks on 2 different nights. And for any wedding planners in the room, we also hear that the venue is in the process of applying for a wedding licence. So the British Army's flagship museum opened in March following a £23.7 million redevelopment. With a mission to connect people with the British Army and its soldiers, the museum has 5 new galleries over 4 floors that explore the life of a soldier, as well as the recruitment process and the Army's connection to society. So the atrium and the foyer that interconnect these galleries can be hired for drinks receptions, product launches, and gala dinners for up to 700 guests. And elsewhere, it's boardroom/private dining room, which is this one here, overlooks the Royal Hospital Chelsea, and also the home of the Chelsea pensioners as well. So fresh from a radical refurb, the Hintzer Hall at Natural History Museum is once again available for private hire. Now crowned by a remarkable 25.2 metre long blue whale skeleton suspended from the ceiling, the marine mammal replaces Dippy the dinosaur, who called the Hintsa Hall home for 35 years. So the whale is called Hope, which is because she serves as a reminder of the museum's commitment to conservation. So those wanting to avoid school children or the colossal queues to get in can opt for evening events, and bookers can invite up to 600 guests for dinner or 1,200 guests for a drinks reception to give their guests one of the first looks at the museum's new centrepiece. I'm sure this one won't have escaped many of you. So earlier this year, Soho House & Co opened its new stylish 252-bedroom in the city. So within the former Midland Bank, the Ned, which is named after architect Sir Edwin Lutyens, houses 9 restaurants, indoor and outdoor pools, a lock-in bar in the vaults, and 6 Grade 1 listed members-only spaces, which are also available to hire exclusively for events. So our pick is this space here, which is the 200-capacity tapestry room, which features walnut panelling, crystal chandeliers, and a striking 1920s tapestry which wraps around all the walls, as you can see in the photo. And of all the restaurants, of all 9 of them, we really like Millie's Lounge, which serves up British comfort food in pretty pink surroundings. So after quite a long wait, the Nobu Group's first European property launched back in June. So the 148 bedroom hotel offers 180 square metres of event space, so it's a single room that can be split into 6. There's also a private dining room in the main restaurant, a courtyard and an outdoor terrace that's bookable for private use. Catering across the hotel for events comes from the in-house restaurant, so expect the kind of experimental Japanese dishes that Nobu's famous for, such as wood oven roasted lobster with scallops and aioli. Cool, so we had a look around this one last week actually at its launch party, that's how new it is. So Venue Group Blank Canvas has added a bare bones venue to its portfolio this month, and its Old Street showroom. So as its name suggests, it's just off Old Street roundabout in Shoreditch. So it was originally a warehouse for trendy clothing brand Stussy, and the venue sits across 2 different floors with whitewashed walls upstairs and concrete floors and exposed brick walls in the larger space downstairs. We imagine, having been, that the basement would make a really good spot for fashion shows, product launches and conferences. And yeah, just as a side note, while we were there, we had some canapes from a catering company called Spook Cooking, which was some of the nicest ones I've had in a long time, just as a side note. So we like this new venue so much that we've already held one of our own reader events there. So it opened up in the summer, and its event spaces comprise both a contemporary museum and also the Mail Rail, which is a flexible blank canvas space which occupies a series of vaulted brick arches. So this particular space, which you can see in the photo, was once a depot for London's secret 6-mile-long postal railway underground, and now event bookers can incorporate 15-minute train trips around the original underground network as part of the guest experience, and in-depth curator-led tours are also available as an add-on. Anyone who went along to Secret Cinema's Star Wars screenings a few years back might recognise this one. So it used to be the printing factory for the Evening Standard and Metro, and it's now, it is a vast set of warehouses in Canada Water that reopened as a venue this spring. So it's in a 16-acre site, and it offers 11,000 square metres of space across 6 venues and can host up to 6,000 guests for conferences, exhibitions, awards ceremonies, music festivals, and immersive events similar to that Star Wars one. So our favourite spot, which you can sort of see, are the print halls, which are big warehouse spaces where you can host anything from dinners to conferences to music shows. But they still feature the huge old printing presses, which gives the venue a real sense of place. So West London gained a 4,000 square metre event space following the relaunch of Queen's Skate Dime Bowl in Queensway earlier this year. So the 100 capacity refurbished venue comprises a permanent ice rink, 12 bowling lanes, 2 bars and a meat liquor, which makes it a really good spot for team building and informal get-togethers for groups. This photo is demonstrating the ice karting, which is available as an option for events, as is the addition of real penguins. When we popped along to the launch party, 6 of the penguins had taken over a segment of the ice rink, and they were definitely the star attraction. So look into that. So South Bank Venue Sea Containers Events turns ahead with its 2,300 square metres of event space and its killer river views. So there's a relaxed 200-seat amphitheatre, which is the standout space. So it's a sort of a series of steps with cushions on where people can sit rather than kind of formal seating, which makes it quite a relaxed spot. But if you're after the views, you should definitely head to the private dining room, which has a balcony and a sight line to St Paul's Cathedral, which you can see in the photo, and that's a particularly popular space. But if you're on the lookout for a summer party venue, don't forget to head up to the roof terrace, where those cityscape views get even better. Caterer Green and Fortune is in charge, and as per its offering at King's Place, the food is seasonal and locally sourced. So following 5 years of work while the museum was fully operational, the Victoria and Albert Museum's £50 million extension was completed this summer. So the Exhibition Road project introduced an extra entrance to the museum and also created the Sackler Courtyard, which is this one here, which is made up of 11,000 individual ceramic tiles to match the interiors of the museum. And we hear that outdoor events are going to be a possibility for up to 350 guests, held against the backdrop of the original facades that have been hidden since 1873. The architects have also dug deep to extend the museum's temporary exhibition spaces, opening up the pillar-free underground Sainsbury Gallery beneath the courtyard. We don't know exactly what the event offering is for that yet, but we imagine that gala dinners and private views will be an option in the future, and that's completely below this courtyard space here. So yeah, we're excited about that one. So next I'm just going to run through some that are about to open. Here we go. So the Bridge Theatre. So this forthcoming venue has some big names behind it. It's a project from theatre heavyweights Sir Nicholas Hittner and Nick Starr, and it's going to be the only large commercial theatre in central London that isn't in the West End. As well as being a spot for theatre productions, the sizable auditorium, which is this one here, is also going to be made available for conferences, product launches and awards ceremonies too. So yeah, we're excited about that one, which should be opening next month. Cool, so this modernist landmark closed in 2015 to be turned into luxury flats. But luckily, when it reopens next year, there's set to be a new restaurant on the top floor, which will be run by Rhubarb, the team who looks after Fenchurch Street and the Sky Garden atop the walkie-talkie. And we also hear that a number of big-name restaurants, a cinema and a theatre are due to set up home at the base of the tower, which is what this CGI is illustrating. So that one, we think, they haven't got a set date yet, but that's due to open early next year. So Cam & Hooper will open its latest venture on Leadenhall Street in the coming months. The venue will have 4 different spaces covering theatre styles, seated and standing events. The interiors are being revamped by the ever-stylish Russell Sage Studios, who will no doubt be sympathetic to the Art Deco feel of Grace & Cobank's former home. And that one's opening, next month, hopefully, but might extend slightly, so we're saying autumn. And then we have Mahiki Kensington. So the renowned nightclub is set to open its second site. So it's replacing the après-ski themed club Bodesloss, which is owned by the same group. And the venue's going to be swapping alpine interiors for a tiki vibe. So picture Polynesian style statues and exotic plants like the CGI explains. And we also hear that there's going to be an in-house restaurant called Pufferfish, which will have a private dining room for 20. So the Marylebone Hotel's commitment to modernity is being renewed in 2017, with its events offering getting a serious sprucing up. So it's collectively known, or going to be known henceforth, as the Marylebone Rooms, and you can expect the indoor and outdoor event spaces to be filled with modern art, colourful furnishings and lots of natural light alongside high-tech AV and Wi-Fi. So our current favourite spots, because some of them are complete but not all, are the Blue Rooms, which is this one pictured, and also the 70s inspired library, although that might change seeing as the project won't be fully complete until the end of the year. So we're looking forward to seeing what everything looks like once it's completely finished. So an 80-bedroom hotel with a Marco Pierre White restaurant is opening up in Whitechapel later this year. Mr. White's English Chop House will focus on steaks, grills and chops, while the hotel itself aims to offer a relaxed environment for business and leisure guests. So we hear that each floor of the hotel will have a communal space for working and socialising, although its event space details and capacities are yet to be fully announced, and that's opening next month. So this 5-star property has almost completed an extensive refurb across its interiors. So designed by Charles Fitzroy Dole in 1898, the hotel is housed in a distinctive terracotta building on the edge of Russell Square. So staying true to its listed status, the ballroom will be renovated to its former glory, while 8 new meeting rooms will be added to the offering. Although for dinners, we quite like the look of the bright restored Palm Court, which is this one that's pictured here. I think that gives you a taste of what to expect once it's open later next month. And finally then, to the South Bank Centre. So both the Queen Elizabeth Hall and the Purcell Room are currently undergoing extensive restoration work. So as well as updating all the tech and upholstery throughout both auditoria, the newly redesigned foyer is being opened up to create a nice bright space for catering, networking and conference registration, and they're opening it up so that you can look out onto the Thames. That'll be a nice welcoming spot for delegates or banqueting clients when they come in to register, and that is taking place at the moment and is set to open in March next year.